Sivir here. Or they can first pick the Kennen again. So they're really mixing it up. KT, interestingly, week to week seems to have a different priority pick.
Yeah.
Last week it was that Sivir that they took in the first round of both of their games. This time it's Kennen.
So if you're Jin Air now, what do you go with? Maybe Sivir Maokai, Sivir Sejuani, or just Jarvan? Just Jarvan it, Monty. Just Jarvan.
I'm so sick of seeing Jin Air play this Jarvan.
Just Jarvan. And you have to imagine they're probably going to lock it in. Hopefully we'll see something a bit different. But again, the thing you have to keep in mind through all of this is Jin Air has absolutely zero incentive to show anything new in this match.
That's true.
They really shouldn't.
They wouldn't be showing a whole lot by playing Sejuani here. I know that Chaser likes to have some good early ganks, and indeed that's one of his strengths is how good his ganking is and how he can really get his lane ahead.
I mean, Che on that Annie, he and Chaser have been able to get a lot of good ganks, especially in mid lane done. So it looks like this time it's going to be a mid or a support Kennen.
Taking away that Hecarim.
Yeah, I wonder.
And an early Kog'Maw as well. Now that pick does cause a lot of problems for Sivir in lane with the range disparity. Kog'Maw can be quite the bully in terms of poking.
You know, Lulu is still available. So if they send Lulu top and send Kennen support, they could be putting together a little bit of a Juggernaut composition, although a little bit different of one than we've seen before.
Kennen can also, yeah, that's true. That's true.
We'll see.
Although I'm not a big fan of running Juggernaut with Lulu mid because I feel at that point you lack another damage threat.
Yeah, it hasn't worked out too well in the past.
Hecarim is a good champion if you are going to do that style, but I think generally running a tank in top lane and Lulu mid is a little too aggressive. You usually want something like a LeBlanc or even another AD carry in the mid lane to help at least deal some more supplemental damage.
Well, GBM's Lulu is really good too, so you may want to take it away there. I'm a little bit disappointed that we're not going to see Chase Annie this game. I think it's extremely good, and I think it would have worked in very, very well with a Sivir composition. I mean, Janna does too, but I like his Annie.
I think Jin Air may be setting up for a mid Ezreal here.
Well, that wouldn't be too surprising, would it? Come on, do it. Oh. Not yet. 5.7. Then I think we're going to see some Bard.
We've seen Bard in China in 5.6. It just hasn't been great.
Yeah.
So I think most people are shying away from it.
You needed a
that
few more
Thresh
buffs.
Available with the Sejuani, so huge engage potential coming in for KT.
Yeah, Fixer on Thresh too. It's going to be pretty tough, and if GBM takes this slot, I'd be a bit worried.
Could take the Zed.
Yeah, that would be
have a ninja battle in the mid lane. Of course, GBM always been a great Zed player, but
maybe a bit of split pushing.
We haven't seen it in quite some time, but against that Kog'Maw, Zed is very effective.
Yeah.
And they don't have the best peel either.
Lissandra, do you feel like that's going to do enough damage later on?
I'd be concerned if, again, I think pigeonholes Jin Air into having a powerful mid game.
Yeah.
Of course,
they've always left
Jarvan Rumble.
Small
I
windows.
mean, it's a good composition, but with the tank meta, the windows that you can get the appropriate burst down are smaller than ever. It's not that you can't do it, it's that now there is added risk to doing it.
Well, at this point, you just really have to do it perfectly if you're going to do it. And even for the top teams, that is not easy. Looks like it will be Lissandra, though, for Gank by Mom. All right, so there's our compositions. I gotta say, just looking at these teams, I'm feeling it for KT.
I'm feeling it for KT as well, but this Kog'Maw is going to be vulnerable in the early game. It will be possible if Jin Air can get good equalizers and get a Lissandra flank to really make plays onto Arrow.
Yeah.
Before that QSS or the Crucible comes down, Jin Air, as long as GBM can find a good angle, he can get in because KT just doesn't have the best peel against that. With Hecarim, Sejuani, and Kennen. These are champions that are going to be going into the enemy team, not hanging around by Kog'Maw to peel.
Right.
So Jin Air has good engage. They can hit that back line, but they have to make it work before really the tankiness overtakes them because this Hecarim is going to be a threat that they don't have the tools to deal with. They can't deal with a split-pushing Hecarim in the late game.
Yep.
It's not going to happen. No one's going to be able to be there to keep him from pushing down turrets with the Trinity Force.
It's going to be pretty tough to go through it. And so KT going back to something similar to what they've used to do so well in recent weeks here. Just a lot of engage. You know, how will Arrow be on that Kog'Maw? And will Jin Air hit that narrow window to lock up KT and get some mid-game team fight wins? Time to find out. This could be the final game of the season for KT Rolster. Let's see if they can close it out 2-0. It's time to get in the game. Well, robots, ninjas, like void monsters.
It's happening. Someday has taken Smite.
Oh, okay.
So we've seen this from Flandre on Snake in the LPL with Shyvana, and also again in that Impulse versus Gravity series. And this is really quite strong right now. So Someday is going to be sacrificing some of his lane presence that you would get with the Ignite Hecarim in order to start doing some counter jungling and to sweep out some of his camps. And so basically, you're not going to be as strong in the 1v1 early, but you certainly are going to be much more powerful in the late game. You're going to get Red Smite into Cinder Hulk, you're going to get tankier, and you're also going to have the Gromp buff, the Gift of the Toadstool, and that does ridiculous damage to AD carries.
Man, and when he comes in late game and just smites Pilot with that Skirmisher Saber, it takes 20 less damage. Well, good luck. Good luck, Sivir.
Yep.
It's going to be pretty tough to handle that.
And even when he does auto, as long as he's good about getting that Gromp buff, Sivir's going to be dealing an insane amount of damage to herself.
Yeah.
So,
it's very true.
Very strong, and Someday just going to solo out the Gromp right away.
Yep, he certainly can. He's got that smite.
So this is going to be the first use of top lane smite with Hecarim in the professional scene. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah,
it's a natural choice, obviously. People already running Hecarim without a movement summoner.
First top lane smite in Korea as well, just in general. So teleport up to the top lane, so Someday's going to get a pretty strong start, as we said. And it looks like the duo going mid for KT now, wanting to avoid that bot lane of Pilot and Shay, which can't really blame them.
Yeah, you get such a nice level advantage, too.
Yeah.
Trey's level 2 right now. He did help Leash over at that Gromp, but just one more way for you to get ahead, and you can really build up pretty phenomenal CS differentials with the help of this smite. You can also just go ahead and take their red buff if you're on this blue side. And of course we have the 2 in mid lane as well. So very interesting situation here, as Kennen of course easily able to handle a 1v2 lane.
Having 2 smites is probably going to be pretty nice for objectives as well.
Yep, it's pretty great right now.
Interesting. All right. I'm actually excited about this. I don't know, I like seeing summoners used in kind of unconventional ways like this.
Yeah,
Score coming in.
You're excited about it now, but it's going to take over the meta, Dylan. We'll all be a lot less excited.
It's definitely not going to last. You can, I'm sure that
it's going to be lasting through at least 5.7.
I would imagine Rito's not terribly pleased with this this development here.
But
Nagne, he may not be pleased with this development. Oh, they missed the engage. And that was a flash whirlwind from Che as well.
That's just bad.
Yeah, that was...
You don't want to flash whirlwind like that. It's really difficult to hit, especially against a Kennen who has that E. It was easily avoidable.
You already have Jarvan coming in for
Fixer's
the knockup.
here.
That sets up a very easy whirlwind. And yeah, Fixer coming down now. So yeah, Che, that whirlwind was definitely unnecessary. You've got your support, Jarvan, to help get the first engage. Just follow it up.
And the Fixer's win rate, 83.3% so far with that Thresh.
Yep. He is pretty much a monster on that.
He's 5-1.
Yeah, just hitting so many just crucial hooks in team fights.
Someday like controlling his own crab.
Why not? When you've got Smite in the top lane, you can do that.
It's great.
It is great.
You just get so much extra money, too, once you get that once you get that scimitar.
Right.
Someday just being as annoying as possible.
Yeah, score coming up as well, too. This could be Trace just walking right through, but kind of a scary moment for him.
Yeah, and this is
Wow,
really good by
red.
KT. With 2 smites, because they have 2 people in the mid lane, they have control over the jungle, actually, on both sides. And that means that they can use these 2 smites even more effectively. This is a brilliant strategy from KT coming in. I really like what they're doing here with the cannon, with the Kog'Maw in the mid lane. You're able to get a lot of hits onto GBM's Lissandra.
Well, KT just, again, continuing to play things even smarter. Kind of makes you wish they were going to the playoffs, huh? It was so weird for KT, too, because they had such a good preseason, and then coming in to the regular season just kind of fell flat. Nobody was able to really make plays. They didn't seem to know what to do outside of 20 minutes.
Well, I mean,
they've turned it around.
Yeah, and this is a team that, remember, due to the exodus of a lot of the Korean players around the world, every team, for the most part, had to try and reinvent themselves. Score, of course, changing positions.
Yeah, going from AD carry up to jungle. And Score coming in. Oh, a little bit of damage onto Jay. Fixes right there. Descendants onto Chaser. They're going to get the teleport, actually, from Jin Air. And will this end up bad for Fixer? He has to flash over the wall. More damage. First blood going to Pilot. So KT getting a bit caught there. Jin Air turning it around.
Can't take that engagement when Sunday's teleport is down. That's just really sloppy team communication. They're going to give up a dragon for it, actually, as well.
Yeah, it seems like just a bit of laziness from KT there.
Yeah, there's no way you take that fight. Sure, you have the duo lane in mid, but with their support there as well, you're even in terms of numbers, and it was just all too easy. So a dragon given up right there, as well as that first blood. Now, Someday is going to continue to get a farm advantage as a result, but...
Yeah, he's getting a pretty decent one, too. So for now, this is going to put a little bit of pressure onto Trace. Oh, Nagne and Score.
Nagne's 6.
Lurking in the bot lane.
And this is pretty huge, too, that Nagne's actually been able to stay relevant in terms of CS, or at least keep up with GBM in the longer lane. And looks like they're not going to take that bait. Score will have to back off this, or maybe he'll try and auto the turret alongside Nagne.
Maybe. I mean, with both summoners still up for Pilot, if he was still down there, I don't think that gank would have worked out. A little bit of chipping damage from KT on the mid lane turret as well.
So Skirmisher Saber already up. Actually, that's a pretty fast buy for Skirmishers. Not getting Bami's Cinder before completing the machete item. But again, it is about that smite if you're going to continue to try and starve out the enemy jungler. But they haven't really been successful at that yet. Chaser not falling behind in terms of CS, at the very least. But we're only 7 minutes into this game. We'll see how that lead opens up. Somebody's going to take a trot through the enemy jungle right now after pushing it up the turret.
Well, I suppose you're going to be getting that extra gold from clearing out any jungle camps, so it's a really nice little substitute when you push that lane up. And it lets you make plays on other lanes, too.
30 extra gold every time you take that scuttler as well. It's pretty huge for KT.
It's very big. It's not too far off from a cannon minion. That extra gold.
Yep.
Combined with the regular gold, it's more than a cannon minion, but just the extra stuff is the stuff that you should be happy about with this top lane smite and the Skirmisher Saber machete item.
Yeah, that's the thing that's deceptive too, is we only see that 11 CS difference, but that's not accounting for the fact that some of that CS is worth a lot more.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Than some of what Trace is getting.
Yeah, Arrow doing well in CS in the mid lane as well too. They've gotten more damage onto their turret than GBM has been able to do.
Yeah, not particularly surprising. Lissandra still has to get pretty close to use her abilities, so she wants to farm a little bit further back at this stage, lest she gets overly poked out.
Yeah, and I feel like KT...
Arrow also going for actually Berserker's Greaves first here, along with the sustain. So really, this is just about fast pushing. That's what KT's trying to do, get as many autos down and just continue to shove the wave. And they have to keep shoving the wave too, because that's what opens up the jungle for Score and Someday.
And Nagne still keeping up in CS in the bot lane.
This is a really smart strategy that KT is running. And after seeing some of these games for the past week, you look at Snake's play, and they got a big advantage due to the lane swap and the fact that Shyvana could jungle very efficiently while the enemy top laner couldn't. But they didn't do a whole lot with the lead, and it wasn't the basic idea was good, but this is far more refined.
Yeah, as long as, well, score. Oh, he misses the ult. Oh, man, and he could be in a little bit of trouble. Well, just taking some damage on the way out.
Honestly, he shouldn't have fired that ult in the first place.
Yeah.
There was no follow-up there, even if he had hit it.
You know, that was another occasion in this game already where score has gone just a little bit too crazy trying to make picks.
Yeah, I think KT is just happy taking this late, though.
Oh, Jin Air, GBM coming in. Fixer just gets blown up by Chaser and ganked by Mom. And that's Fixer's second death now. Really clean gank from Jin Air.
Yeah, knowing score was in the bottom side, so there wasn't going to be retaliation. They also had wards around the mid lane to give them that early warning, so nice play from Chaser. And GBM has a lot of damage going for the fast, easily large rod.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, KT's been playing very intelligently, but Jin Air has just been kind of getting the kills when they needed them.
GBM's been doing a very good job, not going for the Seeker's Arm Guard first in this attack damage lane, instead playing it cool, although Arrow isn't hitting particularly hard in terms of his single damage, like his single auto poke, just because of his build. Yeah, so it's not the greatest threat, of course, for GBM here either.
True enough. Someday with a really nice CS lead up in top. You know, again, like you mentioned, a lot of that CS worth more than the stuff Trace has been getting too.
Yeah, this is going to be quite scary to deal with. And I'm very curious if someday he's going to be building into this Cinder right now. Of course, he could go Trinity Force after the Saber.
Yeah.
We need to keep an eye on his pathing, because it is going to tell us a lot about what he wants to do and when he wants to do it. Because if anything, this build, the downside to using it on Hecarim is it does slow down his Trinity Force power spike, where he can really eliminate the back line very easily.
Yeah. That's interesting. You know, do you just stop at the, okay, so he did go ahead and pick up Cinder Hulk just now.
Yeah. Also,
and Mertritz too.
Yeah,
nice buy.
Yeah, his damage is also just going to be lower in general, because of course a lot of Hecarims prefer to get that tier 2 boots for the damage from his passive, and then try and use the home guard as well as soon as possible to get into some of these mid-game fights. So it does make Hecarims more dependent on scaling into the late game, but if you want to do that, it's perfectly fine here, because you have all of the pressure advantage at the moment.
You know, with the way Someday has been getting in and jungling too, I don't think his Trinity Force is going to be all that slowed down. He's been getting so much extra gold.
Well, I'm curious what he wants to go next, because he does have some good...
That's a good question.
Wave clear right now with the Bomby Cinder and the Sunfire aura that comes from that.
Can Jin Air take a dragon here? They've got a couple wards, but with teleports up, might be a little bit risky. And no ult for Trace yet, or at the moment anyway, so they may want to give it a couple seconds.
Someday the level advantage as well.
Yep.
And there we see the orb used to suss out Score's location, so he's not going to be finding a lane gank, at least at present.
You know, it's too bad he wasn't able to pick up Cinder Hulk for this dragon fight in case they do it. Do you think they're just going to give it away to Jin Air?
No, I don't think anybody's actually in a good position to go for this dragon right now. This pilot spell shields that at the moment. Kog'Maw trying to get back into the mid lane to clear out the wave.
Looks like you will for now. Going for a Blade of the Ruined King, it looks like, as his first big item. So again, I mean, we talked about how KT's other champions are not going to be sitting back and peeling for Kog'Maw. They're going to be going into the other team. So, you know, as Arrow on that Kog'Maw, he's going to need a little bit of self-peel. So that Blade, not too surprising, I suppose.
Yeah. Also just matching up with some more attack speed so he can continue to push turrets down.
Yeah.
And you can see Someday really just not providing pressure yet. And that's one of the issues with going for a double Cinder Hulk is it's an item that scales really nicely because of its multiplicative stats, but it's just not quite as efficient early in the game. And Jin Air going to take this dragon finally.
Yep, just going to give that one up, looks like. Yeah, going for it. There we go. So Jin Air does get dragon number 1.
It does make sense. Again, KT they don't have to be particularly worried about that right now because they're going to be so terrifying in the late game.
Right, and they haven't given Jin Air too much of an early lead. Those 2 kills are kind of a little bit irritating. And the fact that Jin Air has 2 dragons already.
Yeah, but the CS really making up in terms of the gold differential for those kills. And
oh, yeah.
Also the fact that they have a lot more turret damage right now to work with right here.
You know, again, all that extra gold onto Sunday as well, too, is making the gold totals a lot more similar than you would normally think they'd be.
Yeah, Chaser doing a good job jungling around this sticky situation, though. He's managed to continue to farm very efficiently. Score's been waiting a little bit too much to get ganks.
Oh, whoa, GBM.
Wow, he actually...
Sejuani on the back end. That'll be it. Arrow gets the kill there. Ooh, GBM tried to survive it, but nice gank from KT. I hope to see a replay of that one.
Weird flash from Arrow right there. GBM actually did a great job of using the frozen tomb on himself to dodge the glacial prison. So many ice tomb prison words here, but yeah.
Death igloo.
Because that
waiting for that one. That one hasn't been used yet. Feel free, Rido. Rido? I tried to say Riot and Rito at the same time, and then Rido. Sounds like a motorcycle riding dog, but it's not. I don't know what it is. Okay, let's see.
Wow, great hook from Fixer.
Yeah.
Whoa, and look at that.
You know, I guess it's not
Last
surprising.
Second dodge.
It's not surprising. Fixer is the guy who makes these kind of plays on Thresh all the time.
Not sure Arrow had to flash for that one, but, you know, better safe than sorry, I guess.
Yeah, kill secured, right? All right, so our score finally has his Cinderhawk. What in the world am I talking about? All right.
I don't know what you're doing right now.
I don't know. I saw a Kog'Maw. I was thinking about jungle enchants. The Juggermaw enchant. That's what GE has. Their whole team.
Okay, so now Someday is going to be going for the Trinity Core, so really he's going to split push even faster with this build, thanks to Cinderhulk. Will be pretty scary to deal with. And again, Jin Air doesn't have anybody to stop this guy in the late game. He will have a field day split pushing against Jin Air's team composition.
Pretty much.
And now Sheen finished as well, so Arrow really looking to mow through these turrets. Good move, though. So you'll notice that they put Rumble against Kennen, who has a Zhonya's Hourglass, so they want to be a little bit more bully, and they put the duo lane up against Someday. This is a smart lane allocation by Jin Air to counteract the weaknesses presented by KT's itemization at this point in time.
Yeah. Tried to make maybe the possibility of a play happen in the top lane, but KT was wise to it. And it's just kind of, we're rolling towards this inevitable moment where Someday we'll just run over everybody.
Yep, that's where we're going, Noah.
That's pretty much what's going to happen. Because Jin Air, you know, they've had a couple cool picks early on, but they just have not been able to slow down Someday at all on this Hecarim.
Yeah, they really have to pray they get the next couple of dragons here.
Yeah, it's going to come back to haunt them.
They can play a very good vision game and poke someone out or pick somebody off with Lysandra and Rumble. I mean, granted, Jin Air has this very powerful mid game, and they will be able to deal with the back line. Kog'Maw immobile, no sign of a Crucible coming anytime soon, of course, from Thresh, so they're in a pretty good position. But now the towers are starting to fall from KT as they've been chipping pretty mercilessly at them for most of this game so far.
Yeah, pretty much.
Although this top tower, after that last wave pushed in by Pilot and Shay, got a lot of work done, and looks like they're going to have to give up top tower for their pressure on bottom.
Yeah, well, I think as long as Someday can just continue to farm the jungle, he'll be okay.
Wow.
Nagne coming in. There's a stun onto Trace. Oh, he dodges the hook. Nice move from Trace. Oh, and the flay. Not connecting. Fixer just barely out of range. You don't see him miss those very often, do you?
Fixer flashed for that. However,
yeah, he did.
Sejuani ult's still available, but they're going to have to back off of this one. They don't want GBM coming in right now.
Wow.
2 flashes used right there, Nagne and Fixer.
Very uncharacteristic Trace on the skill shots from Fixer.
Yeah, Trace had a nice juke there, though.
Yeah, he did.
It wasn't very well coordinated. Fixer there too late to take advantage of the Kennen stun, so Trace able to dodge around it.
Yep. Looks like Nagne almost has that Abyssal either way.
Trey's not even having to use the equalizer right there. That's that's pretty calm. Trace is a very cool and collected player.
Yeah, generally is.
Someday now, going on a jungle mission.
See Trace make an amazing play, and you know, it looks like somebody told him what the high and low temperatures of the day were going to be. He's got the same reaction. He's like, oh, okay.
Never smiling.
Yeah. They let him know his mail has arrived and there's nothing interesting in it. It's just bills. And he's like, oh, okay.
Here we go. More jungle camps taken by Someday. Getting 50 CS ahead now.
I know. I mean,
this is getting really scary.
With the CS lead that Someday already has. Yeah, there's a Trinity Force.
He just got it. He has Trinity Force and Cinder Hulk at 20 minutes into this game.
This is a fast farming Hecarim here.
Holy cow.
A full like 18. He's like almost 2,000 gold ahead of Trace.
1,800. He's even 600 gold ahead of Pilot, who's the AD carry. Good push, though, from Jin Air. They do get the mid tower down right as this dragon comes live.
Who's going to stop this Hecarim, though? I mean, with Trinity Force, he's going to do so much damage.
Well, Pilot at least has a Bloodthirster first, and I think this is a smart adaptation in this particular scenario where you are going to be subject to some pretty heavy diving. KT sneaks into the dragon, however.
Yeah, well, the teleport
as they clear
coming
out
down.
the mid wave.
All right, teleport used for Trace.
They just let KT walk right into the river.
Yeah, it cost them the teleport on their top laner, too.
They sent so many people to just clear out mid.
All right, here we go. Dragon activated by KT. They're going to go for it. Trace looking for a good equalizer. Is he going to throw one down? It looks like he has GBM coming in as well. Dragon goes over to KT. Oh, they grab GBM with the Death Sentence into the box. They're going to blow him up. Another great play from Fixer. Someday coming in with that onslaught of shadows. Doesn't really get anybody with it, but Dragon in the mid laner, I think KT can be pretty happy with how that turned out.
GBM had no time to even use his ult or his Zhonya's Hourglass right there. Caught out with the Sejuani ult and some great chaining of CC from KT. And that is a lot of damage coming in, as we said, from Someday, hitting the charge right onto GBM. Now he's after the blue buff.
I don't think anyone can stop that. They're going to take mid lane turret, too.
This top smite is really monstrous.
On Hecarim, man, it's just so scary.
Takes a while to get rolling, but once it does. So let's take a look at this one again. So GBM in the front right there gets hooked. Great hook from Fixer. And then immediately just gets hit by a Sejuani ultimate right there. GBM has no time to do anything.
Yep, once that death sentence landed, it was over. It was literally death sentence. Which it oftentimes is from Fixer.
Someday's playing farm the entire map right now.
It's like, I get to play jungler this game. Only people don't yell at me.
Score's like, oh, that's why I'm falling behind in terms of CS, because you take all my camps.
Yep.
But it's okay, because maybe he'll take towers for you too. He gives gold back by taking global objectives.
Hecarim taketh, but then he sometimes gives back a little bit. Wow. He does a lot of damage to turrets, too.
Yep.
A lot of damage to pretty much everything at this point.
You know, why don't you just give him some extra gold? The isolated damage takedown on that turret means he picks up even more for himself.
Yeah, why not? He's actually nearing the flame horizon on this Smite Hecarim.
It's a lot easier to do when you have Smite, though. It's not as impressive. The flame horizon has less of a glow about it, though.
Well, 100 CS ahead, yeah. It's not just in top lane. It's mostly top lane, but I would say like 2/3 top lane, 1/3 jungle at this point.
You know what else is great about this? Is Someday can just take blue buff all he wants because Nagne's been in this bottom lane. He's an energy-based champion, so great composition from KT.
Yeah.
I think they've done such a good job of playing this one.
Man, it's really a pity that we're not going to get to see them play for a long time.
Yeah, why are they so good all of a sudden?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is by the time they play in actual competition again, the meta will have shifted. So enjoy it while it lasts, guys. It's like the only time.
To be fair, no, that's not fair. They were doing well before 5.5 as well.
They were starting to kind of.
They
sort of get rolling.
They actually have had a very good second half of this season.
That is true, but it remains true as well that by the time we're going to see him again, the game will have shifted. So will they be able to shift with it? Or we could just be in for a whole nother year of tank meta. As long as you don't get back to the quadruple heal Mundo comps.
Oh, God. Mid Soraka with Mundo.
We always were afraid back in the day, you know, remember that it might be a Mundo versus Mundo top lane in these blind pick matches sometimes. Luckily, it never happened, but it could have. It could have happened. And that's enough to keep me up at night sometimes. Well, KT just continuing to push this advantage, and nobody in Korea has really had to deal with this yet, so.
I'm sure they have in
Lucky
scrims.
Jin Air, yeah, in scrims, but not in a competitive match.
Great pressure from KT.
Yeah.
You see right there, Someday just swept through the entire top side jungle looking for, he was actually on the hunt for red buffs right there.
Oh, it's empty either way when he's done with it.
Yeah. Continues just to be this incredible pushing force with that blue buff, never running out of that mana. Not sure exactly how Trace is going to stop him. He's getting close to getting that Spirit Visage.
Yeah, I don't think he really can.
He probably just, I mean, he could definitely 1v1 Trace right now with the Smite. Instead, he's like, are there any jungle camps for me to farm?
He's going to go in solo Baron at some point in the near future.
He's going to go back to my jungle.
Because it is his jungle, it's not Score's anymore.
Topside jungle belongs to Someday.
I guess so.
These are my wolves.
Top lane means like top half of the map now. Look at that. And just the fact that he's getting all this extra gold because of the Skirmisher Saber, it's crazy.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, 30 extra gold for every big camp like that. Think of how many he's taken. I bet he's nearing 3K ahead on Trace right now. I bet he's pretty close.
Distortion and chant for Nagne here. Nagne's only purpose in life is to be a stun bot, so Someday can carry at the moment. He's like, I have to have flash up all the time.
Hey, if you've played Annie, you know what life as a stun bot is like. You stunned him, you got one rotation of cooldowns, good, you can die now. Thanks for being in the team fight.
Thanks for playing.
Yep.
Even Arrow getting a QSS as his third item here. It's all about Someday.
I guess so. Should change his name to Today.
Because that's when he's going to carry.
Yep, that's right. All about right now. Should just go ahead and just go all out and change his name to Showtime. Why not? It's Showtime. Well,
here he comes.
Mid lane push coming in from Jin Air. Ooh, they spot Someday. They spot Showtime coming through the river there.
Blue buff taken
Yep.
for Kog'Maw, so KT continues to be all over Jin Air's buffs.
Oh. All right, nobody wants to try to catch Hecarim. Oh, here they go. Speeding up. Doing a decent amount of damage to him.
Red Smite used on GBM right there.
Yeah, it's going to be down for like another 2 seconds. Yeah, the double charge on Smite really makes this even crazier, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It's like it doesn't even matter. He's like, oh, I've got Smite again already.
More true damage for you.
Yep. All right, well, it's Dragon time. KT camping out by the Dragon Dome. And everybody's in the brush. Oh, boy. Oh, here we go. Score! Nice! Oh! And here comes the onslaught of shadows! Oh, boy! That was messy. And just like that, it's showtime.
That was dirty.
That was. Wow. Score's like, I can't even believe I did that. I can't believe they died so fast. I guess it's time for Baron.
Pilot didn't even have a chance to spell shield right there.
No, he was just instantly dead. The fact is they got both carries. They got GBM and Pilot.
No Zonias, no time
man.
for the Frozen Tomb. Nothing. Just instant death from the damage that Someday was putting out too after he used that onslaught of shadows and then rampaging in the middle of them.
Oh, Chaser gets grabbed, knocking it over the wall. Who said stun bot? He's a stone cold killer. And of course, Someday picks up the Baron with that smite. Score is like, wow, I'm out of a job, aren't I? Now, you hit a good ult in that last team fight. Well, it wasn't really much of a fight. It was like an assassination, more like.
Now I'm really sad that we're not going to see KT for like another 2 months. Though.
I know, right?
They've been playing so well.
They tease us. They tease us. Like, this is especially bad for you, as you know, have been known as a KT fan throughout your casting career here. Must be hard, man. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you.
It's okay. I'm used to disappointment, Doa.
I've been an SKT fan, so I'm not quite as used to that.
It's okay.
What's that like?
KT won the last Pro League.
It's true. It's true. They have a tendency to do that when KT and SKT meet. But League is a different story, man.
It's true.
It's all SKT, the League of Legends. Well, let's watch this again because it's entertaining.
Wow, look at that. He used his Arctic Assault first, and so that makes it a lot more likely for him to hit that ultimate. And what is just a fantastic engage right there. It doesn't even matter that everybody's bottled up by the Jarvan ult. The Wombo combo is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even a very dangerous face check for Jin Air. They were playing pretty far back in that bush. They were definitely afraid of that happening, but it was so well executed and timed by KT.
I liked how Chaser popped his ult and he was like, oh, see ya. I gotta go, guys. Sorry, I double parked my horse. All right, well, that's going to be another dead turret for KT. Jin Air not really able to stop any of this. Baron powered and just so much insane damage from Someday.
KT's patience this game is really good because if we remember back to times where they would try and play Juggernaut, they would get a good early lead.
They're going to go in. Okay. That was a little bit premature. Someday taking the lantern to safety. How does... I guess he has to like let go of his axe with one hand to take that lantern. He just like grabs it with his hooves. Just wraps all 4 hooves around it. I don't know how that works.
Well, that was a good engage because KT didn't over pursue it and they got a tower.
Yeah, that is true. They didn't play it too. Oh, here we go. GBM with a big ult coming in. Can they make a play? Equalizer is down. Wow, look at the damage. Nagne picking up another kill. Everyone's still alive. Someday, will he make it out? A double kill for Nagne as KT wins that fight and Someday survives.
Well,
with like 0 health.
Hecarim's W is pretty good at making him live, and here he comes back. He's
pick
back.
up home guard and teleport back in. Oh, here he comes. Oh, look out. Shay is in trouble. Oh, nope, the turret saved him. I think the rest of Jin Air is in trouble. They might just want to... I guess they can't end it right here. Oh, maybe they can. They've got a wave. I thought they didn't have a wave, but they do. This one's over, guys. 2-0 for KT. And, well, you know, I hope you enjoyed that because it's going to be a couple months before we see this team again. So there you go.
It won't be a couple months before we see more Hecarim, though.
I don't think so. GG.
With Smite.
And a 32-minute 2-0. KT just literally runs over Jin Air in game number 2.
And Someday, KT, what great patience that game.
Wow.
And unlike previously when they've had a lead and they've been indecisive, look how well they hit that power spike after farming up that Hecarim. 32-minute game. They power farmed their way and then just drove it home.
You know, I feel like KT wasn't aware of how many matches there were in the regular season. They're like, oh, we're just going to pretend we're bad. And then at the last minute, we'll get good again. And like, oh, no, it's like 1 week too late. Oh.
I mean, KT ends their seasons with victories over GE and Jin Air. So coming strong in the second half. And Jin Air continues to have a lot of issues.
No, they do. I mean, going into that playoff match against CJ in a couple weeks here, you really have to wonder if Jin Air is going to be able to pull it off. They've got a lot of time to prepare. Yeah, they have. And they're going to need to they're going to need to make the most of it.
Yeah, they have about a week and a half.
Yeah.
Before their next match when they play that best of 5 against CJ on April 17th. But they've got a hell of a lot of work to do before that happens because they just don't look comfortable in this current meta with what's going on. They're unable to hit timings.
Not too
and
much.
KT was able just to hold on. Great strategy from KT. Loved seeing the smite. Loved seeing the duo lane in mid. Very innovative. We're probably going to see this. A lot more teams trying this in the future.
Yeah, I would say so. Might as well use it while you can, right, guys?
Good stuff.
Yep, that's right. The tank meta, so we'll have to see who our MVP is for game number 2, but I've got a feeling that it's going to be our resident smite-using Robo-Horse.
Pretty sure that you've got a good read on that one, Doa.
Yep. He was like a James Bond's arch nemesis that game. He was 006.
Trevelyan.
I remember that guy from GoldenEye, yep.
Sean Bean, tragically dying yet again in a movie.
Yeah, that was actually one of his earlier deaths, you know. Yeah.
As far as Sean Bean's career goes, his career of dying in movies.
That's right, but he always does such a good job of it, you know. That was one. He lasted, you know, almost the longest in that one. Lasted a little bit longer in Lord of the Rings, but not too bad. And someday, of course, 006. 3 out of 4 kills that happened were involving a giant, crazy horse. And look at that, 456 GPM.
0 kills. This is the story of top lane Smite.
Seriously.
0 kills, 456 GPM. That is insane for not having any kills.
Does anyone have the balance team on speed dial? Jeez. It's pretty insane. Well, GBM with a nice engage at the end. He did everything he could, but KT just had Jin Air's number right from the very beginning.
Somebody's just healing through that entire engagement there and decides eventually just to ult out at the end. Very good patience, and here he comes.
That's the sound Hecker makes when he teleport home guards in when he's got the smite build this time, huh? I think they're gonna have to add that to the game now. I hope somebody copied that sound clip.
Good stuff. Great games from KT tonight.
Get ready for a lot of that in solo queue if it's not already there. It's probably already there, isn't it?
Oh God, I feel sorry for all the junglers. Now you have all these idiot top
laners. I know they're all gonna take
in your jungle.
Oh well. Time for an MVP, and Barry will be doing the translating for us.
Good evening, and I'm back after a couple months.
Barry's
and
back.
We're gonna tell your friends, and we're gonna go into an MVP interview with both Nagne and Someday, and let's go meet the MVPs. Let's talk with Nagne first. KT is currently on a 4-win streak. You've gotten MVP. How do you feel about it? I didn't think I would get MVP, and then just got really tired during the match. And I'm glad that we were able to win Game 2 as well. And in Game 1, Winged made his debut, and he picked Gragas in the jungle. And did you guys expect that at all? Well, this match didn't really matter that much in terms of like changing the ranking. So we knew that they may try new players because the match didn't mean much in terms of ranking. So yeah, I expected him to come out. Well, Ganked by Mom picked Xerath, which is kind of his trademark. And there's some people that have been saying that Xerath is kind of like a outdated pick now. What do you think? Well, we didn't think that he would pick Xerath, but he did. You know, the fact that they picked Xerath wasn't that bad, but the fact that they built a composition that worked so well around it was what gave us so much trouble in Game 1. Well, we were playing throughout Game 1, and we felt like we had the end advantage, but also didn't feel like we had it at the same time. So, and I thought, and there were a couple points where, it felt like maybe we had thrown the game, but yeah. So, asking about Jin Air's kind of holding out the turtle composition almost. How'd you guys feel? How'd you guys deal with that? So, talking about the Kennen pick. Talking about the Kennen pick and asking that the Kennen can go anywhere in this meta, and saying that they weren't exactly sure where it was going to go, and it was a little bit difficult to practice against, but we managed to go through it. Asking about their match against the G Tigers. Oh, sorry, not that. asking about kind of his kill on Xerath. Kill on Xerath at the end of the game, and says it did feel like kind of you guys were taking out the final boss almost. And when I managed to hit him with the chains, it we were able to kind of convert the kill, and it was kind of almost, it felt miraculous in a way because it felt like, oh, this game finally is over. And talking about, do you have any words for going forward? And he says, well, I want to show that KT is getting better, and I want to kind of live up to our name. And yeah, thank you for cheering for us. And let's go meet someday. And someday, this is your kind of second MVP in like 2 consecutive matches. How do you feel about that? Well, I didn't get any kills in the second game, so I didn't think I would get MVP. But since I got it, I feel pretty thankful. Oh yeah, when you guys are leaving the booth, it was kind of funny because like Nagne seemed to be like teasing you a little bit. You took Smite in game 2 though, so kind of let's ask about that. Well, we practiced with it a little bit, and it was really good in practice, so we just, we ran with it. And you guys had a big CS difference, and you seemed to get, you managed to smite a lot of the neutral objectives really well. Did Score feel bad about that you managed to take it away? Well, winning the match is kind of our priority, so there's no ego and like that kind of stuff. So we just, I just used my smite to like help us secure those objectives. I was going to ask about Score a little bit. It looks like the team's KT has gotten a lot better going into the second round. And is Score, is his singing, is that what's what's cheering you guys on? And she's referring to a series of OGN commercials where Scores was singing in them.
They're beautiful.
Very beautiful singing. And yeah, maybe next time Score gets MVP, we'll like ask him to sing in the interview. So you'll have one last match against Najin, and do you have anything you want to say to them? Well, not really to Najin, but I wanted to say to Samsung, hey, Samsung, fighting, go Samsung. So you're done with the spring season. You're done with the spring season with today, and do you want to say anything to the fans? Well, I feel great that we're able to win our last 4 matches. And this coming Sunday, it's Fixer's birthday, and I want to wish him happy birthday. And yeah, congratulations, KT. And yeah, that's the end of the MVP interviews. I'm going to hand it back over to Monty and Doa and take it back.
All right. Thank you, Barry, for the translations.
It'll be Fixer's 20th birthday.
Wow, he's getting old. Man. Well, let's look at today's results.